Thank you very much and welcome back to the program. This is Sports Direct. My name is Phil John Quarty. Just before the break, I told you that we're going to talk about the state of Ghana badminton, one of the programs that a lot of young men and women here in Ghana are attracted to. And we have the president of Ghana Badminton Association and Mr. Evans Yeboah in the studio. Gentlemen, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure coming back again.
Okay. You spent almost like 4 or 5 hours today at the Accra Sports Stadium talking to media men. What was the essence of that gathering?
I think that it's been a while. The last media engagement we had was about 3 years ago. So it was to, first of all, to bring together what highlights our achievement the last 5 years, and also highlight our achievement as a sport this year for 60 years that we've been in the country. So basically, in a nutshell, that was the essence of today's corporate media engagement.
How did it go? What was the reaction from the media guys? I didn't stay to the end, by the way. I stood when it started. But how did it end? What was their reaction?
It was very inspiring. I think that first we touched on what our development has been. We also touched on what event has been for us. We touched mostly on our governance, administration, and communication level. So largely we emphasize that as the national governing body of the sport. 5 years ago, you could only count 1 out of 10 people who are affiliated to the sport. But now if you count a household of 10, you have at least 8 people who are affiliated to the sport. Before 2017, we were ranked 39th out of 43 sports in the country. But just in December, we are ranked number 5 in the country out of 47 sports.
You don't mean it?
So for us, it's been a triumph of a journey. And those awareness that the board has put in, those particular strategic objectives that we have put in, it hasn't come easy. If you look at coaching in terms of development, we had increased coaching from about 11 in 2016 to 275 just in the last 5 years.
Okay, Mr. Yeboah, how would you describe the state of Ghana badminton? How would you describe it?
For us, it's a growing theme. And as a growing baby, we're still fond of falling and getting up. And gradually it's becoming a household sport for many, people within all sectors of the economy. And for us, we are very open to be able to live better. So that's how we describe the sport at this moment. Okay,
so let's go into the details of what really happened there, over there. Let's go into one after the other. Talking about development achievement, what significant mentioning can you do and how did it happen?
We first will take what we call coaching, because the sport is a bit technical and unique. So you first have to coach someone and certify the person, and that person would be able to do or teach in secondary school or whatever project that you have in place. So in 2017, we launched what we call Badminton in Schools project. It was to educate 60% of the Ghanaian school-going population within a period of 4 years. So in able to do that, we had to teach the teacher so that the teacher, would be licensed to be able to teach the children. So we started and we thought schools in Greater Accra. We did Volta region. We did Ashanti region for the first time.
Did you go to Achimota? Because I know they have a badminton coach over there.
No, they do have a badminton coach, but I went to Adesanya College.
Why?
But I play, well, it's one of those things. I play there as well in Achimota school.
Okay.
But I think that what is important is that, look, we had moved from a triumph of to the Brown Hafo region, to the Volta region, to the Ashanti region, to the Central region. All these places we have been able to incentivize and have teaching going on there. Again, we also have technical officiating, so we're able to train our umpires, our referees, our service judge, our match control, our technical directorship, and basically these line judges and service judges are what we call technical officials in Ghana. And with 2023 coming up, it was a good thing for us to be able to move up the ladder so that we are very, very ready for 2023.
I'm very happy with the school project that you mentioned. How did it go in terms of the reaction from the students and how, if I may ask, how the various schools have welcomed the game of badminton? Because if you are able to implement it very well from the school system, it could trickle all the way to the national one. How did it go?
Look, the school per the public sector work in what we call zones. So a case study simple is the Greater Accra region. In 2018, there were a total of 11 schools who were playing badminton across the whole of the Greater Accra region.
You don't mean it?
In 2019, when we stepped up our coaching courses for the teachers and all of that, now in their schools championship, they had a total of 46 schools, with some schools fielding even 2 different sets of teams for all the 6 to 8 zones which we're representing in the Greater Accra region. So for us, that's the success that we'll see how the schools project has churned out, and we are looking to do better with that. We did that also for the international schools as well, and we did that also for the private schools as well. So for us, it's been very encouraging with all the hopes that we see across the school sector, across the communities as well, and we are very elated about that.
Let's go to the tertiary institution. At the press, you did mention that you had a 5-year deal with the University of Education, Winneba.
Yes.
Tell us your approach to the various, aside Winneba, what have you done which the universities have embraced it?
I think that what we did was to expand the university badminton course. It's already in the hypers department of the University of Education, Winneba. So we signed a 5-year MOU with them last year in March, just about a year ago, to be able to have what we call a university course in badminton only. There is already a university course which was existing and which was done for virtually all grades of sporting disciplines. But this is a standalone badminton course, which basically we provided the curricula. We are able to provide the certification for them as well. And this is the first ever university in Africa which had been able to implement this university course to that particular level. For that, the World Body and us, we are very elated and excited about it. And it wasn't, the MOU was not only informing the university community to be able to do university course, but there was availability of research into badminton. So the university applied for one of the research grants that the World Body has, and we assisted them to do that. And basically, as of last year around summer, they received some, resource to be able to implement that project. And as I speak with you, they are still ongoing with that project.
What is the link between the Ghana Badminton Association, the University of Education, or the universities in Ghana, and that Australian sponsorship? What is it like? Tell me, what is it about? So that's a good thing.
Yes. So what we did was, apart from the University of Education that we were providing, so we will provide a technical education for the university. We'll help the university build up the lesson plans, which had been accepted by their academic board. And then basically they can use that to teach the students there. And the students are going to be licensed by us. Apart from they having their regular diploma or degree certifications, they are going to be licensed technically by us as coaches, who then will churn out to go out and still populate the sport of badminton. So that for us was the unique churn in terms of getting close to the university. And as I speak with you, 4 more universities are on the road for us signing MOUs with them.
In Ghana?
Yeah, in Ghana here, 4 more universities. So basically hopefully by the end of June, we should have some more universities who have climbed up to that. Now, last year around October, we were working on a scholarship for Ghanaian athletes, badminton athletes. And we worked with a university in Australia, which basically accepted and provided scholarships 100% for 100 badminton athletes in October last year. So they were doing an online certification course in sports management. So it's online, so you can sit anywhere and get it done. And January started, and basically they started enrollment. So for us, these unique things that we bring to the sport, it's not just the athletes training, playing for the national team, but arguably the athlete is also having educational purpose within that 2-sprang dual approach that we are approaching how we manage the sport. Okay,
let's look at club commitment and club arrangement with the sports. What has been like trying to galvanize the various leaders or the various coaches regarding badminton? Are we getting clubs throughout the country? You mentioned at the press that it's Kofo area, which is stopping with number of clubs. How about the Western region? I've been there secondly before. I know they love it because when you go to the Upper City, they do that. Tema too. But what has been the plan of the Ghana Badminton Association to spread the various clubs or to spread the game to the various regions?
Look, in 2018, we enacted a pathway, which is directing how clubs will operate, provided specific guidelines. Because we saw that there was an upgrade level of community clubs springing up. So you have now, as of December, we can recall a total of 48 badminton community clubs.
In Ghana?
In Ghana. So from Bolga to Wa to Savannah region to the 3 Bono regions, back to Ashanti region, to the Eastern region, to Volta and Oti, to Western region. Western region, there are currently 4 clubs existing. You have Takwa, which is very predominant. You have the lower part, which has been historically been the bread feed of our national team. You have 2 clubs in the western, in the lower part of the Western region, and then you also have a new club which sprang up in October in Prestia. So
how strong is the club in Sikado?
Oh, Sikado is doing very well, but usually they fall on.
Forgive me,
they go to secondary to fall on Zenith,
okay.
Zenith there, and then the Gapoha, you know, which has been very instrumental of us. They built 2 badminton clubs for us, one in Tema and then one in Takoradi. So with the club level, it provides governance in terms of level of how clubs should operate. Don't forget, in the past, from 1962, the sport has started. It was only existing with a few clubs numbering about 6. You have KTI in Kumasi, you basically have Eridek in Koforidua, you have our own Accra Sports Stadium, you have Takoradi, and then you have a handful in Tamale, the Cultural Center. So these ones have existed primarily for decades. Now the sport is growing and the numbers is growing, so people form community clubs. So on our website, we provide clear guidelines that clubs are able to participate in. For example, if you are a club in good standing, a good standing means that you are a paid up member for your subscription for you and your members. Then you enjoy the rights that the National Association gives you. There are 14 entitlements that you can have. Be members of committees, insurance policies for you. You are welcome on government relations and all the things that goes with the usual club setup. Now, we found out that out of this, all these clubs, some clubs think, or in some nutshell, might think that, oh, they might want to do things on their own self. If you want to do things, then you are not in good standing. Then, of course, you can't enjoy the rights. So, for example, you cannot attend AGM. You cannot be voted and be voted for. Because you are virtually not a delegate, and you can only sit outside the fence and make all the noise. So for us, it's about grooming them, and they focus on, we group even the clubs in gold, silver, and bronze. So if you're a gold club, then basically there are things that you must do. And if you are a bronze club, there are things that if you do in that year, you can even qualify to move to silver. So that's how the categorization works.
We have some 5 to 10 minutes to wrap up. Let's talk about catch them young policy, because this very game, if you don't teach the kids at that younger, tender age, they can't grab it. What has been your policy before we focus on the Commonwealth Games and all African Games that Ghana will be part? What has been the association approach towards catch them young? In
60 seconds, you find out that we started 2 years ago on what we call a national high performance plan. So it was a junior plan, graduating kids from 9 years to 13, 13 to 15, 15 to 17, 17 to 19, 19 onwards to the senior team.
Is it working?
It's working very well, because just last year we participated for the second time within 6 years in Benin for the national under 15. We also we did master. We were second in the mixed team, and we were second even in silver for the number 2 guy in Africa from Ghana. We also got one lady called Rahel Kwaku, who got even a scholarship with the Benin International. So for the next 5 years, she's going to Benin for free.
So the catch them young is working?
It's working perfectly, Johnny. And for us, we're excited about that, because you know there should be a transition pool of feeding into the national and getting to where we need to do. So for us, it's exciting and it is working.
Birmingham, in the United Kingdom, we are planning to go there.
Yes.
What has been the plan preparing for it? Because in just a month's time, we'll be getting there. And I'm just trying to put all the questions into one. Let's talk about preparation for the African Games, because the eyes of the continent will be on Ghana. And I know badminton is one of the disciplines that Ghana will participate. How are you preparing towards these games?
So if we pick the Commonwealth Games, which is in, we just have 3 months to gather up, because July is not really a training month. It will be done there. But largely what we have done is that, look, we work with a two-dual approach. First, we are the only sport which has 2 disciplines going into the Commonwealth Games. None other sport is like badminton. So you have the badminton in the individual events, and then you have badminton in the qualification event, which is the mixed team event. So largely for the mixed team event, we had to go through qualifiers. And that's why we went to Benin last year for the Benin Internationals. We went to Uganda, and then just last 2 weeks, we were also supposed to be in Uganda. So you find out that in terms of preparation, we are there. We are just waiting for the International Games Committee, because usually the government brings all of us together and give us what we call residential campaign, and then you do a non-residential campaign, and then you usually typically do a 4 to 6 weeks at where the venue will be held.
What will be our target for the Commonwealth Games? Certainly, I don't think we're going to win gold or silver. What will be our target? Is to get there, to progress? What will be our target? To answer that, in 2018, we brought in what we call the Itinerant foreign coaching program. So we're able, together with the world body, bring a foreign coach to be able, 2 reasons, to help us technically, and also to assist the local coaches, build up their technical know-how.
We're hoping to do that again this year, and we saw our performance level in the Commonwealth Games in Australia very high.
Okay.
It was better than the previous one in Glasgow. Oh. Again, what we want to do is to build up that performance that we had in Australia, where we were able to climb up with group level, and now we want to get into the quarterfinals, and hopefully we'll get into the semifinals. So for us, it's about a homegrown approach, landing into what will be better than what we did in 2018 in Australia.
Will you guys be under pressure during the African Games hosted by Ghana?
We will. It's big. I'm telling you. Next year when Ghana is hosting, and next year when the games get ready for the African Games, all eyes will be on Ghana. Don't forget that we are very strong in the mixed team. The last one the last two that we participated, 2019, we got bronze. Yeah. And it was the first time in many years that we've had bronze ever in the mixed team event. So we know we'll get a medal there in the mixed team event. And then we know that about 3 or 4 players will also get medals in the individual events. Yeah. Because the total badminton gives you 14 medals. And for us, it is important that with the homegrown solution and the high performance plan that we are building, it's something that will push us to a pedestal which is very unique for where we find ourselves. 2 questions we had of here. What would you tell the badminton fraternity here in Ghana regarding the game? What would the message to them to grow the sports? Again, too, within the next 2 years, getting to 2014, what do you hope to achieve as a president of Ghana Badminton? Look, I look forward, to answer from the latter part, I look forward bringing everybody closer and giving an olive branch to those members who have been suspended or expelled from the association. Look, it's a very small family, and for us, some of us, we are just passing through. Yeah. The sport will be there, and for many decades, we'll still come back to enjoy it. Yeah. But sometimes you have people who try to disintegrate what we are building up. That's okay, it's human society. But just make sure that you are following the internal dispute resolution committee, which is strictly in the constitution of what each and every one of us must follow. Yeah. Once you do that, it's an independent body. Go there, clear your name, just go. If it doesn't work, go to an appeal within the same constitution. Then you can go to wherever you want to go. But if sometimes you begin to tackle it from the top, writing petitions here, going to court, it makes the game a little bit difficult in terms of climbing. And not only for me, you might think you're doing me. All these media attacks you might be going and following through, you think you're doing me. You're not. But largely, at the end of the day, you are soaking yourself also in the mud. But so we are offering an olive branch, and it is important that they come together for the sport. 2014, what do you hope to achieve? 2024, we hope that we will be able to bring all our members together and increasing our members from where we have in 2 million and perform well in the African Games, is a host and win, and basically also do well in the Commonwealth Games. So for us, it's events building, and we would have covered all secondary schools and 50% basic schools by the end of next year. Mr. Ivan Sebo, thank you very much for coming through. Pleasure, Johnny. So all hands on deck, according to the president of the Ghana Badminton Association. Remember that Ghana will be under pressure in 2023 when you host the rest of Africa. This has been Sports Direct. My name is Phil John Quarter. Remember, at 19 hours GMT, she'll be around. Bridget O2, she'll bring you all the exclusive you need to know here in Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the world on Newsnight. So then, like I always say, love life and never, ever forget to live in God. Good evening.